No, it wasn't. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. This review was supposed to come out a bit sooner than this, but I really had no motivation to play through this game. Every time I had some free time to play it, I just convinced myself to do something else instead. Now, I hadn't played this game or even seen gameplay of it before playing it for this review, but I knew it wasn't going to be great. Since every time I see this game brought up in a discussion online, it's never in a positive light. I tried my best to ignore that when going into this so I could just play it for myself and form my own opinion, but it didn't take long for me to realize that there's a reason Boom Bang isn't considered a good Crash game. Let me give you a little introduction of Boom Bang, since I'm sure there's a couple of you that have never even heard of this game. Crash Boom Bang is the second and last Crash Bandicoot party game. I wonder why. It was released in 2006 for the Nintendo DS, and the quicker this review ends the better. Let's just get straight into the story. The main antagonist in this game is the Viscount, a millionaire who's searching for the super big power crystal. But he has no luck finding it, so he comes up with a new plan. He's gonna trick Crash and the others into doing the work for him. They receive an invitation to the World Cannonball Race, and it says that the prize is $100 million. So they decide to go. The Viscount says some stuff, and then yeah, this is where the gameplay begins. Oh, and I forgot to mention, you get to pick between 4 characters at the beginning. You have Coco, Crash, Pura, who looks like he's about to ask me if I have games on my phone, and Pinstripe. You can also unlock 4 additional characters, and you can see who they are through the silhouette: Crunch, Cortex, Fake Crash, and Torna. Now the game is split up into 6 stages, 6 different locations that you play through. In each location you have an objective, whether it be finding something around the map or reaching a certain part of the map. You take turns rolling a dice to move around the map, and you can land on different types of squares like a minigame, bonus points, minus points, squares that set you back to an earlier point in the map or move you to a bonus area. Now let's talk about the mini-games. They're not very fun. For example, Crash Pony Race, which is just a button mashing mini-game. Now I was playing on an emulator, not my DS, so I could record the gameplay, so I was just clicking the mouse. But I can't imagine this being that much more entertaining tapping a DS screen. Mini-games from later stages are similar, like the box moving game, tap here, repeat. I'd say the Crash shooting minigame was the most fun I had in stage 1, and by fun I mean I was sitting there like this. At the end of each stage you'll have a boss battle with the Viscount. They're mini-games that you've most likely already played, but with a slight change. The objective for this mini-game is to hit Cortex as much as you can when his head pops out, and the Viscount boss battle at the end of stage 1 just replaces Cortex with the Viscount. After that we move on to stage 2, the desert. He tells us that there's 4 ancient stone tablets buried somewhere, and he wants us to find them for him. Now what I noticed is there's certain mini-games for each stage, meaning you'll have to replay the same mini-games quite often. The crate moving mini-game popped up a few times, the fruit catching one came up at least 5 times, twice in a row at one point. Atmosphere rolling is probably the best one in stage 2. The objective is to get to the bottom first, but there's nitro crates and rocks that you need to avoid. The only problem I had with it is this boom thing that pops up and blocks the bloody screen. I was winning until it blinded me and I hit a rock because I couldn't see it. I still don't really know what this is, I just know that it happens all the time. It happens outside of the mini games and blocks text boxes. Okay, so quick update, I read the manual and it turns out they're actually supposed to distract you from the gameplay. It does a fucking fantastic job at doing that, I'll say that much. Anyway, once the stone tablets have been found, you have the second boss battle. It's pinball. Whoever can hit him the most wins. After that, he reads the stone tablets and they say that the actual location of the crystal is hidden somewhere on this ancient map. Cortex comes in and tries to steal it, but they end up ripping it into 4 pieces while fighting. And now we have to find the 4 pieces in the next stage. Thank you very much, Cortex, for making this game longer than it needed to be. I will say something positive about this though. I really do like the location that you play in for stage 3. You're in the city and it's all bright and colourful. It's a nice area to play in. Unfortunately, there weren't really any mini games that I liked here. I find Silhouette Quiz hilarious. You have to guess which character the silhouette belongs to. I wonder who this is. Could it be Crash, Cortex, or Engine? Definitely Engine. In the final boss battle you have to destroy the Viscount's robot, and I got a grand score of 0, but I won overall though, so. This is where the Viscount reveals his true intentions about the power crystal, because they now know about the map. He says whoever obtains the super big power crystal will be granted a wish. He then says he's going to the Northern Sea to look for the final key, but unfortunately for us the plane is full. He's only willing to take those who are capable. So now we have to go to the top of a volcano, so its explosive power will blast us into the sky, and Yeah, I gave up on this a long time ago. My favorite minigame from this would have to be the 3D maze, where you have to be the first to find the center. My least favorite, I'd say, was the pizza shop. I swear I'm a fucking expert at making pizzas now. I had to play this at least 6 times. You spin, add one of each topping, repeat. The final boss with the Viscount here is just the plain level from earlier, but with him as the main target. Hold on a second, I thought he just went to search for the... Oh, never mind. Once you make it up to the top and board the plane, it cuts to the others on a ship. Viscount tells us a story. About 100 years ago, there was an adventurer in search for the super big power crystal. It was his granddad. He discovered the key, but wasn't able to decipher the ancient map. He decided to go home and collect his thoughts, but on the way, his ship collided with an iceberg and sunk. The characters respond with, "Sounds like a movie." I kind of expected them to say that. Now he wants us to go and explore the shipwreck and retrieve the 4 broken pieces of the final key. Just like Big City, it's one of the better locations that you play in throughout the game. We make it to the ancient tower where the super big power crystal is waiting for us at the top, and that is the final objective for the final stage. You see the return of some classic Crash Bash minigames here. You have a way crappier version of Crash Ball. You also have Polar Panic, but you're in the Atmosphere and you have to be the last man standing at the end. Anyway, when you make it to the top, you get to see the final standings and the final cutscene. The Viscount goes to collect the crystal, but Crash gets there before him and uses the one wish for Wumpa fruit. Pain, pain. And that's it. Crash Boom Bang. There's 2 other modes that you can play too. Festival mode, which is where you can replay a certain location if you want to, and My Room mode, where you can invite friends and play with them. So there's not that much here other than the main story mode. Was Crash Boom Bang a good game? No. The minigames are uninspired and just aren't fun to play other than a select few. It doesn't help that you might have to play them multiple times in a stage, sometimes in a row. The locations I found boring other than the big city and the shipwreck. There's only 8 characters, which I didn't think that was a big deal to be honest, but it would have been nice to have a few more. I mean, come on, they didn't even bring Rullaroo back. I also don't really care too much about the story, but then again, I don't play any Crash game for a good story. I play it for the gameplay. And again, outside of adventure mode, there isn't much else to do other than replay areas or play with friends. It's not all negative though. Some of the things that I liked about this game, a couple of mini games and 2 of the locations. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this review. I can finally say that I've played Crash Boom Bang. You're probably thinking, Lewis, that's not a good thing. But I'm happy that I've at least finally gave it a try out for myself. Now I'm gonna be reviewing Crash 1 next, but I'm not sure whether I should play the original or the Insane version for the gameplay, so let me know what you think I should do. That being said, thank you for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. Definitely subscribe if you're new here, and I will see you all in my next video.